Hi everyone, good evening. So now we're in week 2 of summer 2. So for this, sorry, let me look this way. It's because I have my phone here for my notes and to view the questions. But for this discussion, we had to watch two little videos about the Alderian Adlerian therapy, right? I actually kind of like it, like this kind of therapy. So I guess first of all, we can talk about what Adlerian therapy is really quick. It's just holistic, goal oriented, and vision with the future focused in mind. So that kind of approach. Um, it understands the lifestyle of the client, the influences, the social influences of the person, and striving for personal goals, and then particularly overcoming the feelings of inferiority and fear, and so on. But looking at what it means, you can actually see a lot of the questioning and the style and strategy that the therapist was doing to the client, to Gina, in this video. But that's more on question 3, so we'll go back to it right now. So the first question, I chose option 1. The first question, defining client lifestyle. It's been a long day, sorry. Number 1, why would Dr. Carlson tie Gina's motivations back to her parents? I think the Dr. Carlson would tie a lot of her life back to, or the questions back to, her motivations back to her parents, to Gina's parents, because it kind of goes with what Adlerian therapy is. It's about your social influences, and every person growing up is heavily influenced by their parents, whether teenagers, kids, it goes with them, because when you look at it in reality, we spend, the majority of us, 18 years at home with our parents. Obviously, it's going to be a big chunk of our life, a big part of our life, of who we are and how it affects us and how we process things and how we are social, how we react to others and things like that. So going back to the parents and their motivations, a person, and Gina specifically in this video, is because a lot of us individually are a product of what our parents, have raised and created throughout all those 18 years. And then once you're 18 and you move out and you go start your own life, or you stay at home for college and you start your own life, that's when you start realizing who you want to be as an individual in the world, and how that maybe there's some things that you want to unlearn that that you were brought up with, or maybe there's things that you want to learn and now you want to make it a part of you and a part of your life. So going based on the Adlerian therapy and tying it into with Dr. Carlson, asking Gina and referring back to a lot of her experiences or motivations from her parents, is because of that, because of the social interaction that you have with your parents and the way you were growing up. It kind of ties a little bit with the culture from the other class, how a lot of cultures, I can't say it, cultures, a lot of people are heavy and set in their religion and their culture because that's how they were brought up. So it kind of does make sense about your motivations being back to your parents because of that. Okay, so number 2 asks, what basic task does Gina describe in this footage? So basic life task. I feel like I could kind of relate to her a little bit about what she was going through. She was going through a divorce. Well, I'm not married. I've never been, but kind of like similar to her, going through a separation, and she has boys. She didn't mention how many or their age. I didn't see that she had mentioned it. And then I have one boy. I have a son. So I feel like I kind of related to her, and that watching that video was meant for me too. But she just talks about the basic life task about raising her sons well, and then continuing her passion, her career in teaching. And then I like how she notices that she has things she has to grow in her personal life, in regards to her ex-husband. um, I don't think she mentioned what the specific details were, but just she just kind of wants to live a good, happy life, and she wants to grow. And that's the good part, is that she's taking an effort to take that step and to grow and to be better. And so that's why she's there. So I believe those are the life tasks, the basic life tasks that she describes. And then the last question goes back to the Adlerian therapy. So number 3 asks, what interventions of the part on the part of the therapist suggest to you that this is an Adlerian therapist? So going back to what it means, it's holistic, it's goal oriented, future approached. It focuses on your future. He's trying to empathize with her, understand what she's going through, her lifestyle, her separations, the social influences. Is a lot of him going back to what she wants to work on in regards to her ex partner. And then he does ask her about what kind of things does she want to work on, what kind of goals and stuff like that she wants to move towards. And then it's also talks about overcoming those feelings of impurity, being upset, or feeling like she had mentioned that she still had some feelings, ugly feelings that she wanted to work on in regards to her ex-husband. And so the therapist was bringing it up and mentioning it, or not mentioning it, but guiding her to it, and then she would talk about it a little bit. So I feel like that's kind of what those key words. Another thing was social influences, was talking about her children, and then her career. As if you're a teacher, you socialize a lot. You have to, even if you don't like to, you need to do it. But yes, that's what I think that. And then he helps her he guides her to make those changes, so that she can live her fulfilled life. And that's what she said at the end, that she just wants to live a good life, and raise her children right. She had mentioned about the daily life, growing as they're getting older. She's just starting to, like, still with them and stuff, but kind of learning how to let go, to let them make their own decisions, which is really hard, right? Probably for her, and as a mom. So that is the conclusion of my discussion. And then, so I look forward to listening to everyone else's discussions and responding, and we'll see you next time.